going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Sit Down Here, man. I'm your host, Ernest. We got Jordan, and we got Demarcus Walker from my favorite team, the Chicago Bears, man. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Man, we appreciate you hopping on. I know, growing up in Florida, watching Florida State, been following you for a while, but get into it just a little bit about your final year, just going into the draft process, because I know we just passed the draft. What was that draft process like for you? Because going into your last year, I know a lot of people had you going first anywhere first 2 rounds. What was that draft process like for you?
Man, it was a blessing, but it was hectic, man. And, not knowing where you're going to live at. And then, to where a phone call from to change your life forever. So, it was a lot to take in. Honestly, I just got a Facebook reminder from, having that call from the Broncos. So, just a lot of different emotions.
I'm knowing, especially that one call changed your life. But I'm already knowing, all right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. A dream come true, seriously.
Yes, sir.
So,
yeah, man.
Just get into some of the stuff you got going on this year, man. So, what's a big personal goal for yourself, and what's a team goal you have for the Bears this year?
What's funny is the Bears asked me to write down that information. I got to turn it into them next week. That's so crazy. You know what I'm saying?
It's ironic, man.
That we wound up that y'all asked me that. So honestly, team always got to go first. I feel like the team goal for me is us to win. Win the division. Play as a team and build that chemistry and that brotherhood. That's the biggest thing. Once you have that, the rest will follow. And go to the big dance and win it.
Shoot. Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
I gotta say one thing, as a Bears fan, I'll speak for Chicago here, man. What game, especially division rival, are you specifically ready to beat this year? And why?
I was around somebody. I think I was at work. Somebody had said, "But I really want to." The Vikings. Yeah.
Vikings?
Yeah. I know we hate Green Bay. I just think the Vikings. Maybe because I don't know. Yeah, the Vikings. I just because I think they just thought they were all that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like like the first time they got us, but the second time going around,
Yeah.
Even though I feel like Dobbs still played in the game. It was definitely get back.
Hey, man, I know you can't say it, man, but y'all boys sent Dobbs back to the bench. But
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, that division on smoke this year. Lions, Green Bay, Vikings, they just drafted a quarterback. Shoot, y'all got a quarterback. Hey, that division on smoke this year.
Yeah.
Shoot, but
man. The league is definitely evolving, man. It's evolving.
Facts. And I know you being in the league for a couple of years now. What you feel like is the biggest misconception about the league, or just before you got into the league, like what's something that like you really didn't know like really took place in the league, or something that you had to learn like not the hard way, but it's something that you just have to learn, like, oh, this is how they get down in the league, huh?
Yeah, man, it's just a cutthroat business. That's a great question. Joy, you definitely coming with them. Just the business behind it and how it's cutthroat, and to where you have to be able to keep evolving every single day. With any job or any classroom, you're not gonna like everybody in there. That's just the real world that we live in. But they got that whole saying, "It's not for long." That's what NFL stands for. And, I tell you what, the second hardest step. People think the hardest step is getting their foot in the league. Don't get me wrong, that is hard. I feel like that's the second hardest step. I feel like the hardest step is staying in the league. Because that's how I learned how this business is. It's cutthroat. Every year there's a job. Every year there's a free agency, and you gotta produce. And you gotta humble yourself. You gotta work, and you gotta continue evolving and learning.
That's real, man. Now, just piggyback off that. Now, what moment or like what happened to prompt you to think that business was like the most that business was the hardest adjustment by the league? Like what was the moment?
The hardest adjustment, as into where somebody can be next to you Monday, but they could be gone like late on that day in the next meeting, if not that next day.
Damn,
Like
next meeting.
like cutthroat. I mean, in and out, and then they got somebody in there. All right, they cut somebody Monday. They gonna have somebody in there by Tuesday. Like that's just how
That is
it
crazy.
keeps it humbles you, and to where to figure out ask the right questions. You know what I'm saying? The ones that feel like they got it, that's when the ones they're gonna weed themselves out of the league. Yeah, man, that'll never get old. You know what I'm saying? And what's funny is every year there's a rookie class that comes in. And
Mm-hmm.
when something crazy happens, I ask them like, "That's crazy, ain't it?" And that's a wake up call. That's to where it's a job.
That's facts. And I know, especially just you following your career, going all the way back to Florida State days. I know a lot of people from our area, like Auden Tate, George Campbell, Derwin James, all them boys, Florida State. So just playing at Florida State, like around all them talents, because some schools, like you probably get 1 or 2 NFL players per year, but you playing at Florida State, like playing with all those NFL guys, does that get you ready for playing in the league with all these talent going around?
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of guys, I believe, at HBCUs, at D2s and D3. You got guys in D3s and D2s that's in NFL. So if you're good, you're good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of talented guys that didn't get a chance to play at high level with more competitive players around them. In my situation, yes. I mean, being around that Florida speed and just having guys that Devontae Freeman can shake you.
Okay.
You got Kermit Whitfield and Marvin Bracey running 100, like running 10 ones and 10 O's, you got that running that practice. So you got to tackle that open field. So how do you get ready for that? So you got the best competition.
That's facts.
Mm-hmm.
Our talent was crazy there in Florida State, man. But
Yeah,
now,
but I ain't gonna lie, bro. Before we get into it, Ern,
go ahead.
hey, you probably don't even know, but hey, you hurt a lot of people's hearts back here, because I ain't gonna lie, we got a lot of Miami fans. I vividly remember watching the game. I forgot what year it was, but it was 20. I think it was 2019. They just scored. They about to kick the extra point.
2016. Yeah.
2016. Block that, bro. You know how much money he took from the fam, bro. You know how much money he took from the fam off that one play. I just had to throw that out there, Ern. My bad.
You good, bro. So Demarcus, what was your favorite college play or moment you had? Talking about, the block Jordan was just talking about. What was your favorite play?
No, that's definitely top two. It's either the block of the rock or my Ole Miss game, season opener my senior year.
That was in Orlando, right?
Right, yeah. I think those two areas, I mean, those two games was definitely monumental, and thankfully, like they both happened my senior year. Those both two games were very monumental in my career, and which one holds a little bit more weight? I mean, I don't know, man. I can't, because I mean, you telling me 4.5 sacks in 1/2, or the
Damn.
game winning field goal block, in a historic rivalry that'll never die. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really pick one. I believe they're both tied at one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Respect.
So obviously, like you going to Florida State. Was that your dream school growing up? I know you're a Florida guy
No,
too. You knew it was gonna
no,
be Florida State.
no, not at all. My dad was more of a Gator. My mom was a Seminole, and so then to where I had more, and I was living with my dad. So obviously, Florida was kind of just in my back pocket, but to where they never showed no love, and I just started taking it personally. And Florida and Florida State was the last two schools to really offer me, and I feel like that was very disrespectful. Like y'all, my two home teams. I mean, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Oklahoma are for me, and to where I
Everybody
feel
but
like
Florida, huh?
yeah, and they got heat for it, and Florida State came in cocky too, because they got mad that I didn't give them no interest, but then to where they want to come in like hot last minute, just thinking that to where, oh, give us some interest. Like I never forget on the phone call with Odell Hagan. It was like I was like, oh yeah, I think Odell was like, why you don't talk to us? I'm just like, because y'all ain't never offered me. He go, and he was like, well, you got an offer now. I'm like, oh, I literally I looked at the phone like, who the fuck? I'm sorry,
Nah,
but
you straight.
You good, bro.
yeah, but like it was crazy. Like that was my real reaction. And Florida State had no interest from me. Like I was like, no, like, and I was committed to Alabama, and
Mm.
um, Clemson was really like my school that I always had like a soft spot in my heart for it. I was committed to. I was solid committed to them. But then, I mean, Alabama came in, talked that big talk, bro, and it was just like different. So I committed there, and then the coach who left Alabama, Jimmy Pruitt, went to Florida State, and that's who I really
Mm.
trusted at Alabama, and that's who I only trusted. So then we went over to Florida State together.
You took any other official visits besides the Florida State one?
Bro, like, nah, fun fact here, I didn't even take no visits going to Florida State. I know
What?
nothing about the school. Like, I went to Florida State one time. It was like my sophomore year, going into my junior year. And I mean, God taught me delayed gratification at an early age. And my father went with me. We went to a camp. We saw some things, whatever. But, want to leaving, going home early, whatever, and driving back to Jacksonville. And that's the only time I visited Florida State. So, I mean, I knew nothing. I just took a whole leap of faith.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is just
Absolutely.
crazy.
Man.
Hey man, God working
Yeah.
mysterious ways, man. That was your path, bro, to go to FSU, man. That was
I
just
was
real.
about to say, hey, it turned out good. Turned out how it's supposed to.
No, no lie. No lie, for real.
Yeah, but we're gonna transition to this season, man. Talk about what's popping right now. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You
I got you.
know, the
I got you.
Bears, I'm a big Bears guy, man. So I watched and I've seen you play a lot. And I definitely noticed the resurgence in the defense, like y'all like picked it up back after Montez Sweat came, the Pro Bowl pass rusher. So just talk to us about how he changed the defense and made y'all like turn y'all into a top 10 unit going down the stretch.
Yeah, man. Tez definitely turned it up, man. And to have that ranking force, on the field, you know what I'm saying? It definitely freed up a lot of guys and depth, especially myself. Got a lot more doubles. I was the most double guy in the league at the
Yeah.
majority of the year, and then to where when Tez got there, you know, he got all the attention and then I was able to get healthy, and then was able to start making plays.
Facts. I ain't gonna lie, especially getting all them doubles when another dog come.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't. Hey, you gotta pick one. You know what I'm saying? But I know just in terms been following the Bears defense, especially because one of my boys from college at Penn State, Jaquan Brisker, he with y'all getting it done
Brisk.
too. So just in terms of this plan for this year, like how fun is that playing with a defense like when y'all got a whole bunch of dogs all over the field, like you got a good secondary, get after the ball. Like how fun is that just playing with a great defense like that?
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be able to, have a bunch of, guys that, you can go to battle with and that loves the game and want to hold each other accountable. I think at first we were still trying to figure out a little bit, bro, that our whole front seven was new. So, like, that's the most important part of a defense. If you can't stop the run, you can't win a football game. So, when the front seven, gets synced, all the back end got to do is just start learning how to communicate. Then, I mean, that is that. If they can stop the run, you can get the coverage stuff really together. That'll take a lot more. All that is just communication. Communication and everybody being where they need to be. But like front seven, that takes, and don't get me wrong, back seven, the backside do too, but that takes a lot of chemistry, especially being in a attack style defense. And you know, I think we wound up getting glued together, and yeah, and Tez, and everyone started, finding out our identity, and doing their job.
Nice.
So I got another question for you, man. What game would you want back? Like, or you do it over again? Just give me a game. There's a few. You
Just
might
from this year, Ern? From
give
this
me one.
past season?
Yeah, this past season. Just one game. One game. You want back.
Cleveland Browns. Like I know that game off the rip. Like, that game was I believe after that game our defense, even though we lost, I feel like our defense really found we glued our identity. after that, like, it was not really, you know, you could just tell even from the locker room just how it was like a club down there. You felt like, on the defense side. And I don't get me wrong, offense, I feel like was doing their thing too. But just from the chemistry standpoint, you could tell like it was a big difference.
It's definitely visible, like watching as a fan too, like the chemistry y'all had down the stretch, like everything was just clicking, like they just turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover. It was really fun to watch, bro.
Absolutely, man.
And I know I got one more before we go into the rapid fire segment, just because I know like you've been in a few cities now. Just talk about just that transition from playing in one city to going into a different city. Like, what's like the hardest part about like that? Like, not even on the field, but like the off the field, like having them move all your stuff to a different city, you had to get acclimated to a new city. Like, what's the toughest part about that?
Adjusting, man. I mean, you having to start over and learn people, and people got to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that takes, a special patience and, through the grace of God, I've had it, better than others, you know what I'm saying? So, um, I had to go through the test of fire to things, and I think that was the biggest thing is just adjusting and, having your family adjust, your dogs adjust and stuff,
Yeah.
So, God has been very good to me and put me in places where, it was very beautiful or it wasn't too bad, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
to have a good, balance and to make do everything, and that's why, I don't take, Chicago for granted.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we hella appreciative of you, man. Like I said.
Yeah, diehard Bears fan over here.
Well, yeah, man. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna take it to our last segment of the day. It's our favorite, me and Jordan's favorite segment is the rapid fire segment question. We'll ask you a series of questions. You just take it where you want to go from there. You ready?
Absolutely.
I bet. All right, so I'm pretty sure you probably got a couple jerseys in the crib. Well, if you could get 5 jerseys in your man cave from anybody, any sport, it could be college, pro. What 5 jerseys you get? I gotta know who jersey it is. So, like for example, if you get Joe Burrow, are you gonna get his Bengals or his LSU one? So you get 5, any sport too.
That's dope. That's a good question. Kevin Durant, because that's my favorite NBA player. And I
Ooh, you
will
get
want.
OKC or the Golden State joint?
I'm gonna want to go to state one.
Ooh, to get the chip. Okay.
Um, Aaron Donald, Rams jersey, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, New England.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ooh, that are alive or they gotta be alive?
Yeah, all time.
Reggie White, Green Bay Packers.
Ooh.
That's
And,
hard.
and
Oh,
then
yeah, I like that.
Yes,
and
sir. One
then
more.
and honestly, we don't say anything about the Packers, but Reggie White is accepted. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, man. He
that's another level.
legend.
that's
Yeah.
the minister, Um, last but not least, hmm, trying to think who's in the top right now. Oh, Pat in the
Mahomes.
city.
Okay,
Yeah, Pat.
that's a good
Yeah.
one. Next
See,
one.
I
I
got
don't
2
know.
quarterbacks, 2 D
Yeah.
linemen, and an
And you
NBA
got
player.
KD.
I see you trying to keep it
Hey, you
balanced.
got KD. You got. I thought you were about to say Brown, but we straight. We straight. All right, bet. Next one. I don't know if you're a big gamer, but favorite video game of all time.
NCAA.
What year though? What year? This shit we talking
Yeah,
about, man.
but no, 2014. That's the best. That's the last one. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
Yeah.
sir.
That's the
Ooh.
last one. Nah, I used to get busy on
Dang.
that. Like I promise, bro. I was
So
in.
you missed it, huh?
Nah, I was on there.
How many years was you on? All years
Just
or
the last,
just that
last year
one?
because I graduated. I graduated in 13. I was
Okay,
on the last one.
Mm,
bet. Damn.
Yeah,
that's lit.
Yeah, I'm happy they bringing that joint back. Okay, bet.
yeah.
All right, so next one. So outside of your team, I know we rocking Chicago, but I know it's a lot of good teams out there, a lot of good coaches. What coach would you like to play for outside of, obviously, we know Chicago taking it home this year, but is there any coach that you would like to play for outside? Because I know Coach for the line, Dan Campbell. Hey, that's a good coach. Mike Tomlin, good coach. I know them rivals, but any coach in the league.
That's tricky. I respect, you know who I really respect? Kyle Shanahan. I just think I think from under that family tree, and then to where defenses nowadays, bro, like we're definitely,
At a
it's
disadvantage.
hard. Like that too. He ain't lying. But to where it's hard to run a ball in the NFL now. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be very creative to run the ball in the
Yeah.
NFL. So to see how Kyle Shanahan dial it up, every week and just be very creative with it, and then knowing like the pieces to put together, definitely has goes off to him.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. That often the pre-snap motions, get the eyes everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's what a lot of eye candy.
Yes, sir. Bet.
Yeah.
Going to the next one. All right, so we're gonna go back there. This is a two-part question. From your college time and your time in the league. Best role atmosphere.
Ooh. I give my top 3.
Ooh.
Role atmosphere. Give me like you want like loud rowdiness. Oh, you said atmosphere though. You said atmosphere, yeah. Okay, you said
Whole joint stadium, everything.
Driving on the bus, people throwing eggs or something at the bus. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talking about.
I know at college, at Clemson, at night game at Clemson, that thing probably get
Night
jumping
game
too.
dope.
That's the road though.
Oh, okay.
You already know he gonna pick the dope.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'll give it this. Clemson number 3. No, switch that. Florida number 3. At the Swamp can get loud. The Swamp can get loud. Clemson's 2. Oakland Raiders in Oakland. That's number 1. And nobody get worse than Oakland. And nobody get worse than that. They moved that motherfucker out there for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they be getting to it in the stands too.
Yeah, that's when I learned that to where Oakland really, if y'all ever go to the Bay, it's nice. I love the Bay. I train out there. But you just be safe out there in Oakland.
Yeah.
That's where the good food at.
Watch out over there.
I tell you what, I got a story about the Raiders fan. I went to Bucks game. The Bucks went to Tampa. I went to the game, bro. The Raiders fans, bro, they weren't even in their city, bro. They over there yelling, Raiders, bro. Take over the whole Tampa Bay Stadium, bro.
Yeah.
Then they got the gorilla fans, everything. It's kind of intimidating. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Bet. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We got some tough ones coming up.
Okay.
So look, if you could have any team in the league, you know what I'm saying, if you could have any city expansion, relocation, like you in the video game, what city getting a team in the NFL? It could be out the country, it can be in the United States. What you think would be a nice city to get an NFL?
We got teams playing in Brazil this year, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, what? Bro, you know how I be a Madden? Hey, y'all ain't good enough? Hey, let's relocate, man. Where we going, man?
Ooh. That's another good question. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, we can come back to that one because that's a tricky one. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I think. See, I'm a businessman. Like I'm starting thinking of businesses. I'm thinking of revenue, like how many fans that you really generate.
Yes,
the
sir.
Location to where be more fair. I mean, more feasible weather-wise too. Like I'm thinking about all this.
That West Coast, East Coast, Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a smart investment man, I put one in for a smart investment. either I know this sounds so off the wall. The reason why is just because you just never know how it might blow up. Even though I think one is either San Antonio or
Ooh.
Pensacola. Why?
Ooh.
Just because Mississippi doesn't have any pro teams, neither
Yeah,
does Alabama, and
that's right there.
to where to where you got the Jaguars fans that's on like on the east of Florida, you got your Tampa fans, you got your Miami fans, but like those fans that's over there on the panhandle of Florida,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they're like what New Orleans Saints fans probably or
Yeah, I
something.
was about to
You
say they
know what I'm
closer.
saying? So I mean, San Antonio or Pensacola, in
That's a
my
good
opinion.
answer. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, that's a good
That's
answer. I ain't
different.
gonna cap. Bet. All right, bet we're gonna rest through these last one. FSU Mount Rushmore, defense only, because I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of dudes, but strictly defense. Who on your FSU Mount Rushmore?
Defensive line or defense?
Oh shit. Yeah. I feel like let's
They
just
gonna
rock
be
out a whole defense. Whole
yeah,
defense.
decent.
Dion.
For sure.
Um, Telvin Smith.
Dog.
Uh,
Mm,
Dog.
I mean, you had some dogs that come through it. That came through
Mhm.
the uh defense. Okay, you got Dion. We got Telvin.
Derek Brooks, T. Buck, J. Ram, Derwin James,
Eric,
Demarcus
you said
Walker.
Brooks. Yeah.
Shit.
Mm. I go. I go D Brooks.
Mm.
I go D Brooks, and then you know, I say if I was to put a D lineman on there, I like me over anybody. The only person who like
That's
I
real.
kind of give,
Yeah, I like that.
like the only person who has like better numbers than me is obviously Peter Boulware and Renard Wilson. But
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had a proper coach until my junior year, in my opinion. So the proper development. Um, and man, I think if I'm put a D lineman on there, it's gonna be a tie between me, Peter, and Renard. You know what I'm saying? Because I like
You
me.
said you
You know what
betting on
I'm
yourself. So
It's
hey, that's
okay.
how we're gonna rock out then. Okay. Bet. Hey, Ern, I ain't gonna lie, this is a tough one.
Okay.
Would you rather play full NFL season with no bye weeks or every game in the snow?
That's another good one.
That's tough, boy. No bye weeks, crucial. What? Every game snow game? What? Outside? Come on, man. That's
Yeah.
tough.
No book, girl. No book, girl. Probably no bye weeks, not me. You know, it's gonna get over with. Yeah, I just gotta do that
Hey,
body better.
yeah.
No, snow
I bet.
every day would
Yeah,
be insane, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That'd be crazy.
I'm
When
from
when
Florida,
you
man.
when you made it to the league, got a little bit of cheddar. Dumbest thing you bought? What's the dumbest thing you bought? Or something you look back and be like, man, I shouldn't even spend that.
Hey, mind you, Jay, I met Demarcus on Saturday. We was talking about financial literacy, so I'm kind of intrigued to see what you did
Oh
right here.
shoot.
Yeah, I think the dumbest thing I bought was this Breitling watch. It's the dumbest thing I bought.
Mm.
That's not
Yeah.
that crazy though.
Yeah, straight out. I'm saying, hey, this
Yeah,
ain't taking on the chin. Okay. But
nah,
all
but
right,
I
two.
mean, if I was the like, if y'all just do your research when you get into like buying things. Like I told them, buy gold, not diamonds. Gold is backed by itself, diamonds not.
Mm. He dropping
Mhm.
gems. I ain't gonna lie. Bet. All right, hey, two more questions. Who your toughest matchup since you've been in the league? One of them tackles that gave you the most smoke. Or
Who
it
I'm
could be a
looking for?
team.
Who I'm looking for to play into? Bakari from the Packers, Trent Williams from San Francisco, Panay Sewell from the Lions. I believe those tackles got the best of me. Panay, I was still learning, how to perfect my craft at end. Trent, yeah, I was still that was my first year back playing in the NFL. And Bakari, same shit. Like I was still as you get better, you continue growing. You look into like those matchups again. It's all about getting better and improving. And so obviously we all pros. I know they're working on their game and working on mine too.
Yes, sir. Bet that. And last question. When it's all said and done for you, when you're hanging up them cleats, what's one thing on your bucket list that you're trying to do?
Super Bowl MVP.
You heard it. You heard it.
I hope
who the last defense player to win it? Was it
Vaughn? No.
Was it Vaughn?
It might have been Vaughn.
I think it's Von Miller.
Hey, shoot.
He played with Vaughn in Denver, right?
That's what I'm coming for it, Bill.
Yeah,
you played with Vaughn in Denver, right, bro?
Yeah, I believe God do things for, a reason. If you hang around 10 broke people, more than likely you'll get a level one. So if I had an opportunity to play around Super Bowl MVP and see how he worked and how he go about his, business, I mean, got the need to observe, set up and listen, and apply it to however it can be useful to me.
Just like that, Ern. Say that.
That's
yeah, man. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. Seriously, brother.
You hopping on, man. Definitely.
Yeah, wrap up the show, man. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks, big shout out to my boy Demarcus, man.
Yes, sir.